Aquí estamos con Fox in Los Angeles. Fox, so what can you tell me about your portraits here and your time?
Well, these portraits have been on shelf for many years, decades actually. And my assignment is over as a photographer. It was just a hobby that kind of spelt. But my nephew took interested. He saw the negatives. He cleaned them up, developed some of them, and I just said, wow, we appreciate it again. So it's a new wave for me, this is historic now. This is 40 years ago. So it is historic, and now it's, look at it in that sense, and I'm just excited, to be able to share it with people,
So this photo particularly, what can you tell me about this day and how did this come about?
Okay.
Who are the ladies in this photo?
Okay, this is one of my favorites too, And by the way, a lot of these photos that I took during the late 70s, early 80s, I was a photographer for a while. I did a wedding photography, so I got trained in posing, and so that was my background. And then I landed an assignment with Lowrider. They were working on the 4th anniversary issue, and they asked me to cover East LA, so I went to town, as a photographer, freelance for Lowrider. It opened up a lot of doors, Hey, I'm from Lowrider, working on an issue, you guys want to take a picture? Oh yeah, it opened up, a lot of subculture that normally wouldn't take,
Yeah.
Even though I grew up in East LA and I knew some of them, it just, broadened up the entrance,
Yeah.
So I was able to capture a lot of these images. This one, like I said, one of my favorites because of the girls, these were the Gambier girls out of El Sereno.
So what would you say is your biggest takeaway in photography? Like what was the biggest lesson you've learned? Besides cameras, but like life. Is there any life lessons that came with that?
I think it would be that I was able to capture them at their best moment, with the pride that we share. I think it's evident, we have a culture. We are proud of who we are, not being anybody else, but who we are, So I think I was able to capture that moment for them. And that to me, it's a good takeaway, I can say, hey, man, They granted me the opportunity, and I was able to capture that opportunity for them.
Yeah, obviously, people, places, and times change, and it changes fast. Things come and go, people come and go, and stuff like that. So what you're doing, it's very important to your city. You're documenting gente, the barrios, mom and pops, businesses, and stuff like that might not even be around forever. It's not gonna be around forever, unfortunately. But I feel. Look, we're here 40 years later, we're seeing photos of the past that nobody's ever seen before, and it kind of opens up a new, a broader view and spectrum on
a new chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a photographer. I was grateful that I took interest in it because I see the value of it now. Back then, but it was more of a, current thing. Now I value it in a difference. It's historic. 40 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Time flies like that,
Muy rápido.
I'm in the street, Woodard Boulevard, with my mentor down the block. Back then it was Veloz Photography. Back then you had studios. Now everybody has a camera, but back then you had to be a photographer. You had to learn how to use a camera, and they had formal studios.
Yeah.
So I was grateful to be in that era, to learn from the masters like Richard Veloz Photography.
Wow. What besides photography, what other passions do you have, or what do you like to do?
That was a hobby, passion, and but it was more. It was a hobby. It wasn't a vocation. It didn't pay the bills, So I continued my school. I got educated. I fell into vocation. I retired. Now I have the time and to go back to some of the things that are just fun for me.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to make money or just enjoyment. And that's a whole new thing for me.
I think last time we spoke at the gallery, you mentioned you're also like a dancer.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me about that? Or?
Yeah, I fell into. Before that, I always had a physical program, since high school. I wasn't very big in sports. I was small for my age, so I was never fit into the football, basketball. So in junior college, I took up running, track,
Okay.
and that became a thing for me, man. I can run. I ended up running several marathons,
Yeah.
And so through that, I was also in touch with my roots, and I always looked at running as a form of prayer. And so through that process, I also discovered my Indian roots, the Aztec dancing. Back in the 80s, back in the 80s, there was only one Aztec group here in LA, one in San Diego, one in San Francisco, very few. So I was here at that early stage, and that opened up my path through Aztec dancing.
Yeah.
And that's been part of me for even up to now.
Yeah. I think I've seen photo references of you at Chicano Park,
That's one of my
performing and-
homes away from home.
Yeah.
And if I can kind of relate with that, what you said, as a runner, we would run from LA to Chicano Park in celebration of Chicano Park. And people found that you actually come from LA. You're doing it? Yeah, that's what we do. We run like native Indian spirituals. I did that year after year after year, and we were never part of their program, but the native people did take notice, and they walked the way for us every year, and as a result, I go there to pay my homage and respect for Chicano Park, because that's a unique place in itself.
How far does your roots go back? Like, do you know where your parents or your grandparents are from?
Yeah. We're all from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
I was born in the state of Durango,
Okay.
and that's what basically my parents come from.
Okay, Durango. And so you're first generation Mexican American?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Do you have a message about life that you want to share to whoever might see this? Like,
Wow.
what is de la corazón?
I believe you follow your own path, because try to look for richness. It'll never fulfill you, because a lot of people go for the richness, for the money. But what do you do with the richness and money? Enjoy what you really have. And don't get caught up with that, because it's never enough. So you have to find what you have, what you're gifted with, and be grateful for it, appreciate it, and that's enough.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
It fulfilled me. So
Yes.
That's my message.
Do you have any final words you wanted to share? Anything you might?
Well, I'm just happy to have met you. You kind of
No.
remind me of a younger version of myself as a photographer. So I kind of see, what you're doing. It's like, yeah, man, things are still
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And people value that, and you being from San Antonio and here in LA,
Yeah.
oh, that's a great assignment.
Far from home, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm happy to
You know.
meet people and continue.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm very disciplined about documenting our true essence of our own cities. Nothing outside looking in where people are gonna only know it for one thing. Like, we're the ones who are born and raised in those cities, so we should have the right and honor to tell it.
Yes.
Like that, where the gente are, the culture, the businesses that make it. What makes our city great.
Right.
What gives it the identity. And like I said, like 40 years now, like we're learning a whole new chapter and a whole new history of East LA over here. And my dreams, maybe my photography outlives me in the future, but maybe 20, 30, 50 years from now, people could look back and find photos, references of San Antonio during my time. Because again, like, we never know if that person's still around, or that business is still around, that building's still around, and things like that. So that's I'm glad that you opened up.
And just to do on that point, wherever you're at, start there.
Yeah.
Because you should know more better than anybody else. So there's beauty, there's opportunity, there's everything already around. You just have to look at.
Yeah.
You may not see it immediately, but as you discover, you'll see the beauty that you're blessed with. Nobody could do a better job than you, because you're there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you, André. Pues muchas gracias, Fox. This is
welcome, Enrique.
very, very honored to have this conversation and share this space with you, and
Pleasure.
meeting you, and
Pleasure. Continue your
learning
walk,
from you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, brother. I hope.